Myself, Ankita Tiwari, from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology, from IT/ICT department. I am going to take a session from the subject Cyber Crimes and Mitigation. Subject code is 31632113. The module that we are going to cover in this session is Module 6, Endpoint Protection. The topic that we are going to cover is email security and privacy messages, that is security and privacy. Basically, here we are going to study about the security and the privacy about the Messengers app that we are using it. So basically, how the endpoint protection is useful in that. So whenever we talk about endpoint protection, as we are knowing it, the endpoint protection provides many features. Like it has to be done in many areas. These are the areas which are there in which the endpoint security works. Actually, the cloud security, the email, see the email that plus web protection that we are doing it right now, the network protection, desktop protection, risk compliance, then data protection, then server protection, mobile security, and many things. So basically these are the areas where the endpoint protection basically being applied in order to have the secure data. Now I'm going to tell you about the email part or the messaging part that we are going to use. So when here our daily life is totally dependent on the messaging app that we are using it in the daily basis. So basically the endpoint protections, email security and privacy messages here, the end-to-end encryption, because here the encryption method is being applied. We already have studied about what is encryption, how the encryption is being done in file and disk. So the same thing is applied to end-to-end protection. So here the end-to-end encryption is a system of communication where only the communicating users can read the messages. We know when the data is encrypted, it can be decrypted using the key only. So it cannot be visible by the other users which do not have the key. So basically the end-to-end encryption is providing the highest security, so we are using it. Now in principle it prevents potential eavesdrops. Now eavesdroppers that they are located at any of the path, that it can be in the network path, it can be in the LAN path, it can be in any of the path where they are seeing the data which is going from one side to another side. So basically that includes telecom providers, internet providers, and even the provider of the communication service also. The communication service that we are using it, even that also. So from being able to access the cryptography keys that is needed to decrypt the conversation. Basically encryption involves keys. So we need to have that key in order to decrypt the conversation. So basically they are watching it. Okay, what will be the key in order to get it and to crack the code. So basically in many messaging systems, including mails and many chat networks which we are using it, messages pass through intermediate. That is intermediate means there is a third party which handles all these things and are stored by a third party from which they are retrieved by the recipient. So basically the third party will get the message, it will store it, it will secure it and will be sent to the recipient after that. So basically we are having the third party which is here the secured terms, the security which we are providing at a high level. Even if the messages are encrypted, they are only encrypted in transit and thus accessible by the service provider. So regardless of whether the server side disk encryption is used, it will be used or not, the messages will be encrypted in transit only. So server side disk encryption simply prevents, what it will do? It will prevent the unauthorized users, the users which are not authorized, from viewing this information, and it does not prevent the company itself from viewing the information. So basically when server side disk encryption is there, simply it prevents the unauthorized users from viewing the information. Now this allows the third party to provide search and other features or to scan for illegal and unacceptable content, but also means they can read and misuse by anyone who can access to the stored messages which are there with the third party system. So whether this is by design or by a backdoor, so this is the thing that we need to have it, and this is the feature that we need to have it, so that we can scan for the illegal and the unacceptable content which not to be sent to the any of the other recipient which is authorized. So basically this can be seen as a common concern in many of the cases where privacy is very important. So basically where privacy is very important, normally only but such as businesses whose reputation depends on their ability to provide third-party data, negotiations, and the communications that are very important enough to have a risk of targeted hacking or surveillance. So basically, we need to have an end-to-end protection of our messaging app also, so that our message is well secured and it is not passing to any other mean or any other data, any other secured network where it should not be. So basically this includes all these things. Now the thing which we talk about here is end-to-end encryption. So the end-to-end encryption is intended to prevent data being read or secretly modified other than by the true sender and the recipient. So basically end-to-end encryption is applied for this purpose only, so that it will never be modified or being read by any other sender or recipient. So the messages are encrypted by the sender, but the third party does not have a means to decrypt them. Third party will not have the key so that it can decrypt the message and can see it. No. And stores them encrypted form only. They will not decrypt it, they will just store the encrypted version of your message. Now the recipient retrieve the encrypted data and decrypt it themselves. They will decrypt by themselves, so that there will not be any leak of the confidentiality. Now because of no third parties can decipher the data being communicated or stored, for example, companies that uses end-to-end encryptions are unable to hand over the text to their customers messages to the authorities. It is very important to note this point. It's very big, because in many of the companies they are not providing the customer messages to the authorities as well, because it's highly confidential and it's encrypted form and they do not have the key so that they can decrypt it. They just keep the data as a secured means and they just provide the data as it is. So how the endpoint encryption helps, security helps. So here the end-to-end encryption paradigm does not directly address the risk at the communications endpoints themselves. It does not provide the direct address risk because it is situated at a third party location and it is not goes directly to the recipient. So we are having a very good environment where we can save the data, because it is going to the third party and it is not going to the same communication. Then each user's computers can still be hacked, but to steal his or her cryptographic key, means the key which is applied to it, to create an TM attack. Now, or simply read the recipients, where the messages are decrypted both in real time and from log files. So basically, when the user's computer is a possibility, we are having it to be hacked. So what it does, it just read the recipient decrypted messages both in real time and from log files if it has the cryptographic key, so that it will take the attack, that is man in the middle attack. It can apply that attack also, that is MITM. Okay, so basically when we talk about this, even the most perfectly encrypted communication pipe is only as secure as the mailbox on the other end, because the security should be provided at both the ends, not only to the sender, also to the recipient. It should have it, because both are connected with the internet, and internet is the middle part where both the connections are connected through the internet. So internet should be internet. We cannot provide the security at the internet. We can provide the security at the endpoints only. Now basically when we talk about this, major attempts to increase endpoint security have been to isolate key generation. Many means there should be some method to generate the key so that it cannot be decrypted, storage and cryptographic operations to a smart card, such as Google's Project Volta. This is the it is a smart card which is available, and here the storage will be done like this smart card, and it can be used so that the key generation will be done with the help of some formula only, but with some basis, and we cannot decrypt it very easily, so that attempts is being made. Now however, since plain text input and outputs are still visible to the host which is creating it, malware can monitor conversations in real time. It can monitor the conversations in real time application. But when we talk about this, a more robust approach is to isolate all the sensitive data to a fully air-gapped computer. So basically, we need to have this robust approach so that it can isolate all the sensitive data to a fully air-gapped computer. Now here, why you need to use secure messaging? Why? The first thing that comes in our mind. Why we need to have the security? Because the messages are private and it's very sensitive and it's personal. So it should have, like when you chat with someone online, suppose you might assume that you use yourself and the other person are privately using to the conversation, but it's not like that. It can be like this chat is being stored at the backend at some place where it can be retrieved and can be used for anything. So basically, but as we have learned over the years, there are lots of groups that are expending considerable effort to spy on our communication, and we know that many groups are there so that they are eavesdropping on your communication link so that they can grab that messages and can use them. So the first thing that comes in our mind, that is corporations want to read your messages so they can better target ads to you or sell your personal information to the highest bidder, correct? Sometimes see, whenever you are just seeing the website and you are searching something, then they take a watch on it what you are searching, so that they can grab you some emails like you can take this in an offer, like you can buy this in an offer. So they are just seeing your ads which you are viewing it, and they can the corporations are watching it for their better target ads so that they can sell their thing to you, and in a better, that is highest bidder value. Okay, so this is the first point. Like next point is hackers want to use the information. Hackers, this is the another part, to steal your identity, break into your bank account, sell your company's new business plans to the competition. That this thing is already being done in many of the companies and still it is going on, or blackmail you with those pictures from the wild nights in Vegas. Like it's an example. So this thing can also be happen. The third thing, governments want to know everything you think and say and do, and maybe even catch a terrorist or two. So this can be a good approach also. So there are drawbacks also, there are advantages also, and there are things also which can be used. Okay, so these are the things that we need to have to use our to have like securing our messages. So these are the different views that we need to have it. Best encrypted messaging apps that we have. We have many, means we have many, but here I will give an example of only three. Signal, the first, the most secure app available. I don't know if you are using or not, but Signal is the most usable app which today's it's a very most secure app that is available here, and we can download it also. We can say that Signal is generally considered to be the most secure messaging service available. Also, originally it is published by Open Whisper Systems. Their encryption protocol is so good that many other services like base their own encryption protocol on it, like WhatsApp. So Signal is end-to-end encrypted, we know, open source and completely free of charge. Now it allows you to create disappearing messages. See, these are the features. It allows you to create disappearing messages. Then we can say that it has successfully completed third-party audits and also publishes the transparency reports. Transparent. So basically, we can say that it's a more secure app. The best second app we have is Wicker.me. That is, it's we can say it's a very anonymous messaging app which you are using, and most secure and private collaboration platform it uses. Here, Wicker.me is the other secure services recommended for use by the 82nd Airborne Task Force Civil in the Middle East. Now, the Wicker product contains free and paid versions, both versions, targeting both individuals and teams, businesses. Now, Wicker.me is built on the same code base as the company's paid commercial offerings, with some features only turned on the paid versions. Only the paid versions have some different things. Okay, the third that we have is Wire, that is securing messaging and collaboration. It is also a collaboration of some important points. Here we can say it's a well-regarded corporate collaboration suite with secure messaging, group chat capabilities, file sharing, also the ability to collaborate securely with external clients. So for this roundup, we reviewed Wire Personal there for securing messaging app for individuals. According to third-party testing, the Bridgers protocol that Wire Personal relies is very secure. Now, like Signal, Wire Personal is open source and gives you self-destructing messages. So these are the different messaging app that we have learned how it should be secured, how the endpoint protection helps you. These are the things that we have learned in this lecture, and we have completed this session. Thank you.